Something I can see coming out of that black hole, two luminous discs. The eyes, it might be a face, might be almost but heavens, something wriggling out of the shadow like a gray snake. Now it's another one, and another one, and another one. They look like tentacles to me. Oh, yeah, I can see the thing's body now. It's large as a bear. It glistens like wet leather, but that face, ladies and gentlemen, it's indescribable. I can hardly force myself to keep looking at it. It's so awful. The eyes are black, and they gleam like a serpent. The mouth is kind of V-shaped with saliva dripping from its rimless lips that seem to, quiver and pulsate.
The three of you are in this room, absolutely dazzled by the ghost in front of you, although still reeling from its physical spectral presence. When all of a sudden there is a flash of light, the room goes white, and you are all dazed by the fluorescent lights clicking back on. At the end of the hallway, at the threshold of the room, Mr. Thornwall stands in the doorway and utters in low tones, "You're not supposed to be here."
Mr. Thornwall, you're right, we're not. My associates got in contact with me and said that there was a sighting of the apparition, which is why I rushed down here, and I think we have managed to figure something out which would be relevant to basically everyone on this ship, if we want to get them all together.
Your associates should not have been here either, especially because they were pretending to be Port and Thor.
Yes, I was.
Almost said Port Authority Aspectors.
That's right.
Well, hey ladies.
That's us.
Hey ladies.
Ladies.
Hey, not my fault you couldn't
Fellas.
read my ID.
Oh, it says Aspector here the whole time. Fuck.
It's amazing what the human brain can just gloss over.
It says Ghast Spectre, actually, so we weren't lying about investigating ghosts.
Your associates were not supposed to be here either, especially since they told me they were Port Authority inspectors.
Jules definitely kind of does that look at the ground like, oof.
Unless, of course, Mr. Garcia Flores, you are somehow a government-licensed exorcist.
No, I don't think they do those yet.
We're working on it.
They should.
I actually, I don't have a cover for that. I don't have a cover for that one.
He's like, dang, you right, though.
It's
I
like
mean, maybe that's
You
the
got
tack
me.
is like, no, you are correct.
You got
They
me.
did, in fact, say that they were port authorities to get on this ship.
Sometimes
That
these
was,
sorts of things don't include a +1 or a +2, as the case may be, and, well, we get creative in search of the truth.
If that is the case, then Mr. Garcia Flores +2, you will have to convince me that you are here with the boat's best interest, because it no longer seems that you are.
Alistair kind of looks at Saint with that, like, floor is yours, but are we gonna do this? Kind of a thing.
Yeah, and I think he nods and turns back to Thornwall, and he's like, that's a difficult task. Some of it has to be, if you've decided not to trust me, there is very little I can say that will make you trust me. Some of it is just the inherent belief that I could do harm. I could be lying about basically anything. I don't like to. You may notice that I came on this boat and told the truth. As far as you're aware, I guess. I know I told the truth, but we could spin this in circles for hours. What I can say is, Mr. Thornwall, I have dedicated my whole life, my whole adult life, to saving people, to freeing homes from malevolent spirits, to saving lives, and sometimes not being able to save lives, but freeing people from a burden that plagues them. I have not had what some would call an easy life, but it is what I do, and I'm very good at it, and it is what I care about, and it is, I believe, my duty. It is what I am here to do. And as such, I came onto this boat with that in mind. I believed that there was something plaguing this boat, and I had to know if it was going to hurt anyone. People stay on this boat. People stay on this boat specifically because there are ghosts. And if there was one on this boat that was going to harm a lot of people, I couldn't let that rest. Whether or not you choose to believe me, I can't do anything about that. But that is my truth, is that I came on this boat because I didn't want to see anybody get hurt.
Maddie, if you could do me a favor and roll to persuade him in whatever way you feel is appropriate.
Sure. I think technically rapport is generally that. I would like to
I was
pitch this as empathy.
Vibe. Yeah.
Yes, because I am literally going for the heart of the matter.
Yes, I had empathy on the tip of my tongue as you were saying it.
Yeah. Remind me, it is 4d6, correct?
Yes, it is. Yes, 4d6.
Great. I play a lot of Monster of the Week. And that
I know,
is just 2.
I keep being like, time to roll 2d6. That's not going to do it.
Okay, that's a negative, 2 neutrals, and a positive, so it evens out to just my +4.
Just my +4. Beautiful.
You can see a little bit of tension kind of knot up in Mr. Thornwall as he reaches into his breast pocket of his tuxedo and pulls out his cell phone. He slides it open and taps a few keys in before putting it back into his breast pocket. Mr. Wright will be here shortly. Tell me what you found. In your expertise.
Sure. You don't want the others to hear this information.
I want to know what you've seen.
Sure.
I think we should wait until Mr. Wright gets here. He might have a unique perspective on the situation. See, the reason Mr. Garcia Flores keeps me around is because, well, he understands ghosts and how to keep people safe from them. And I have an eye for people and how to keep people safe when it turns out not to be a ghost. You know, hypothetically.
Hypothetically. While you're waiting for Mason Wright, elevator music fills the pool.
Just the most threatening elevator music of all time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You had no idea that music could just
be so threatening.
Yeah, just really make you feel like somebody's about to just get you from behind.
Yeah, sure. weirdly it's the opening main theme of The Shining.
So many things don't need an elevator music remix, but I would pay money to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know that particular track was by what's her name, the orchestrator of the modern synth sound.
Oh, I didn't. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Wendy Carlos.
Hell yeah.
Very cool.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Is Thornwall giving me anything? If I'm watching him, is he totally stone-faced, just not giving?
Does he react specifically when I say that, sometimes it's not a ghost, hypothetically?
Other than his biting hypothetical phrase.
Sure.
No, he does not seem to engage with you upon that line of thinking. He seems to respect that you want both of them there, and does not say anything further.
If I walk around, does he seem to take negatively to that? If I turn my back on him, terrifying thought, because I still have this feeling he's gonna pull a fucking gun on me. But if I like turn around and start walking towards like the equipment, is he like, don't do that, or is he just like watching?
If you do that, I think he will react.
Sure.
But you have to choose to do that.
Sure. I'm gonna like look at Alistair and Jules, and like kind of nod over to the equipment tables. And
because
like
Alistair is still like literally standing in front of the table that has the spirit box on it and stuff.
Oh, okay. You're already there. I was gonna
Yeah.
head over there to start grabbing props, but if you're already there, I won't do that then.
I mean, yeah, I know that was where, because that was where Alistair was like standing when the lights came on, and I don't think he's moved.
Sure. I might look at them just to like give a glance at the table and be like, just like stay there. Like we're gonna need that. But
he will very theatrically like fold his hands behind his back in a I'm not touching anything
cool
body language thing.
But Maddie, you said Saint is going over there?
No. If Alistair's already there, I'm not gonna go there.
Then no reaction takes place. A few seconds later, you can hear the elevator ding coming in from the lobby. It's very silent. You could hear a pin drop in this room at this point. Mason Wright quickly comes shuffling around the corner from the little elevator foyer and stands directly behind Thornwall. What seems to be the issue? It appears that we have intruders, Mr. Wright. Intruders who are welcomed as guests onto this ship and have proven that they do not quite respect the ship's rules. But they have some information that they would like to share with us.
Yes. Now...
they both turn to you expectantly.
Sure. Mr. Wright, you are the ship's historian, if I recall. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. I've been on board the vessel a number of years.
Sure.
I have a great familiarity and respect for the history of the Queen Mary.
Sure, absolutely, I understand. And therefore, I think probably a great amount of knowledge for the beings that reside here, as it were.
Yes, whatever entities may actually be on this vessel, spiritual or otherwise, it is my job to document them and tell their stories for generations to come. Just as Mr. Thornwall is here to take care of our living guests, I am here to take care of our departed guests.
Sure. I can respect that.
You have a feeling that is a rehearsed line that he may drop during tours.
Totally. Now, regarding the ghost that has been seen here, you haven't found much on her yet. Is that true, or what do you have? Anything?
Well, I was actually intending to give a presentation after the reception of my findings so far, but we may be able to link this back to an accident that happened on board this ship in the 50s. But we can't be certain at this stage, which was partially the purpose of tonight's investigation. Although it seems you have jumped the gun on this matter.
A little. I don't know. I get antsy. Alistair, do you want to share what you've pieced together?
Of course. Departed guests. Sure. See, the thing is, I think, Mr. Wright, that you might have someone on this ship under false pretenses. And he kind of, like, doesn't smile at all, even though that is a terrible joke.
Mason's face kind of turns up into a knowing smile, presuming you're trying to make a joke, before acknowledging your expression and quickly dropping that expression as well.
Somebody who's dead stowaway. Well, I don't know. Perhaps you might want to ask Mr. Kent about the integrity of his equipment. Because, this right here, and taps the spirit box, just says, Saint, I mean, you don't usually go in for a whole lot of gizmos and doodads, and he's gonna turn it on and then flick through the channels slowly to illustrate that there's sustained screaming. Can I do that? If I figured out how it works?
Sure. Yeah, it's a very simple device. There's enough buttons that look like they just belong on a VCR player or a simple Walkman that you can kind of figure out what they're meant to do.
Okay.
It plays the same cycle as before. The whatever combination of stations I mentioned during our last session. Some golden oldies, some country, something modern. Some scratching sounds, 5 channels of screaming, and then back to music and talk radio and all that again. But this time, yes, it is very noticeably a loop.
Yeah, I'll do it a couple of times to illustrate that it's a looped piece of audio. Your usual spirit box picks up on evidence of things not seen, right? This sounds a little bit more like evidence of things premeditated.
I'm purely a man of letters. I'm afraid I can't comment on the veracity of any one machine. I just know what I've read and what I've studied. And
all right, well, okay, I'll grant you that. One piece of idiosyncratic ghost hunting technology does not a conspiracy make. Fine. And Alistair will, sort of still pacing with his hands behind his back, puts his hands back behind his back and paces over, and is gonna walk down the stairs of the pool, kind of tap, tap, tap on the railing as he goes, and looks up at Saint from where, if Saint is still kind of standing on the pool deck and he's down in the pool, and he just says, cold spots, yeah?
Not unusual.
Okay. What about very cold metal railings?
Certainly, I imagine a spirit's presence can be drawn to certain conductive materials might elicit different temperature reactions, perhaps.
Brand new tiles, clearly laid in substantially after the pool was no longer in use. In the interest of not doing any property damage, I won't investigate what's behind them, but I'd be willing to make you a wager that there's some kind of refrigeration system hidden behind here, producing the effect of a very even cold spot. But the visual stimuli, that one seems a little harder to account for. I think might require something more high-tech. And I guess Alistair will, is definitely, checking in with Saint to make sure that they're sort of on the same page as he's talking through all of this.
Yeah, my only addition with Saint was literally going to be Jules, do you have your multi-tool on you? Because I'll pop off one of these tiles right now. But as soon as Alistair's let's not break anything, Saint's oh, okay.
I would say that, both Jules and Saint have the same disappointed reaction to the no.
Yeah, they exchange a look oh.
Oh.
I was looking forward to breaking some stuff.
Making things less fun again.
Ugh.
Alistair's gonna ignore the stairs and since he's probably only in the shallow end, is gonna hop up, push himself up and hop out of the pool, and then is kind of like looking, like pacing around the end of the room and kind of, he's very, very, very deadpan, but you do get the idea that he might be having a little bit of fun with this one.
Somebody watches Poirot.
Somebody watched a lot. Look, Alistair watched a lot of PBS at, like, his great aunt's house as a kid or something. And just doesn't tell anybody about it because nobody ever asks.
Oh, that's a really special analysis that you have there. And I would acknowledge it to be like speculation if this were not the second time Alistair has brought up PBS this chapter.
Well, yeah, you know.
I think that's just a confirmed fact about him.
Yeah, it's fine. Write what you know, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I, a person who was absolutely raised by public access television. And he's kind of like checking the distance between the lighting sconces on the wall. And he finally does say, oof. Maybe a little bit of property damage.
Yes.
Jules, can I borrow your multi-tool?
I was waiting for you to ask. She takes out the multi-tool and goes over and walks over and hands it to you.
You can see Thomas Thornwall physically protest. He takes a couple steps forward with his hand outstretched, like, kind of a stop kind of motion. But
I put out my hand with one finger up, like, mm-mm.
It has a screwdriver attachment, Mr. Thornwall. I promise I'm not going to break any glass.
He is repelled by Jules's muscles.
Yeah.
As he should.
Yeah, that's what I fucking thought. That's what I thought.
Like a vampire and a crucifix.
If I'm not mistaken, this is actually very impressive. Mr. Kent should be proud of his ingenuity. Something like this would require multiple projectors, something that wouldn't be, where the image wouldn't be interrupted if you had people moving around from lots of different angles. So let's see what happens if we finishes unscrewing it and will pull back the wall sconce.
What you see behind this wall sconce is not mere electrical cords, but a series of fiber optic cables. And a very clear lens.
Very nice work. So, while I'm sure your historical presentation is very entertaining, I think we have a counter-narrative to offer. And we'll look back at Saint.
Can I walk around them and turn off the lights? Or are they going to stop me?
Yes, go for it, but I'm going to interject halfway through it to say some dialogue. But you can still do it. I'm not going to stop you.
Sure, yeah, he turns to them, like, with his hands clasped, and then, like, shit-eating grin, spreads his hands wide in a, like, check this shit out kind of gesture, like, didn't I tell ya? And then starts making his way towards the light switch.
Thornwall starts to object and says something to the effect of, I don't know what you think you can prove by pointing out these aspects of our... and is immediately cut off by Mason Wright, who just kind of, in a low, somber tone, just says, oh, give it up, Thomas, they found out. There's no sense telling a story to people who don't believe in the fiction.
Great, yeah, I proceed past them and I flick off the light, and I would like for, like, dramatic effect if the ghost, like, clearly flickers into view.
I can say, if you want, Alistair, seeing where you're headed, can walk back to the table, and can I roll to see if I've figured out the how this stuff works well enough to, when Saint does that, reactivate the projection?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The lights go out, the projector kind of clicks back into place. With the sconce removed, you can hear a light humming from where it's stuck within the wall. and the illusion, the hologram of the drowning girl flickers back into position, directly above the center of the pool. And noticeably in this moment, directly above a drain.
Huh. Can I take the multi-tool? Jules, do you want to pop that open? This is out of character. I feel like we've been doing a lot of the walking and talking.
Or yeah, if Jules wants to do it, Alistair could like toss her back the multi-tool, like go for it.
Yeah, Olive will like point to the drain and like look notably at the two of them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you want me to take care of it, who am I to say no?
Yeah, and while she's doing that, Alistair kind of just looks over at Mason Wright and is just like, yeah, letting Jacques see it first. Good choice. Although I gotta wonder, whoever your video editor is, like, you know, they should put that in their portfolio. Might make some money down in L.A.
Thornwall pinches the sides of his nose with his fingers. They've signed a strict NDA not to.
Oh, well.
Although it appears our presentation needed to be a little subtler if you were able to figure it out before the grand opening.
Oh.
Now, to be fair, Mr. Thornwall, you didn't invite us, obviously. No. And it seems like your crop of folks you have upstairs are particularly picked for scope, for audience, and not necessarily for supernatural reasons. You just happened to set up this soiree on a night when when an actual exorcist was in town, and happened to know a guy who knew a guy that this was happening. So that sentence wasn't good, I think. I think I fucked up that sentence. That's okay.
Thornwall kind of huffs out, "Yes, lucky me."
What happens when Jules pops open the drain?
No, I actually snorted at that, and yeah, then I opened the drain.
Jules, when you get that cover off, that brass, that brass drain at the bottom of the pool, not unlike a shower drain, you see a dim blue projector shining upwards at you. And when Jules's head crosses in front of the beam, the hologram hovering in the center of the pool gets about 20% blurrier. It is indeed a multi-point projector system creating this specter.
There you go. Can I ask a question of you two fellas?
Only if we can ask a question of you when you're done, sure.
Sure, that seems fair. Business that bad? I mean, I know the employee was injured last year, if I recall, and I assume you had a downturn after that, but you had to fake a whole new ghost?
Whoever told you that all press is good press was lying through their goddamn teeth.
Sir, I work in ghosts. You don't have to tell me that.
That's the first laugh you get out of Thornwell this entire time you've been on board the vessel.
Nice.
Fair
Nice.
I work in ghosts. You don't have to tell me that.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough, Mr. Garcia Flores. I also work in ghosts. We had an unfortunate accident last year. People think that just because this is a place that you can take your family, this is a tourist trap, does not mean it is not dangerous. They think we have as many safety precautions as Disneyland. Somebody got drunk, got in one of the lifeboats. An employee had to fish them out. Somebody fell off the ship, bonked their head. There was lawsuits that lasted for months. We were found irrevocably at fault. Now we can, of course, secure all of the boats as best we can, and we can put up as many slippery when wet signs as possible, but we couldn't pay all of the damages. Not with the meager tourism money that we get already. So yes, business that bad. And we were hoping that the exhibit that you have uncovered tonight, if we pretended to a certain degree that it was real enough, would be enough to bring people back year after year after year. At the very least, if it got discovered halfway through its run, well, it's still a rather impressive special effect, don't you think? Doesn't matter if it's fake or not. We just hoped that we had more time to pretend it was real. Which I suppose brings me to my question of you, Mr. Garcia Flores.
Mm-hmm.
What are you planning to do with this information? If you're intending to go to the press, I can perhaps dissuade you from doing so. He pulls out a gun.
Oh God!
No.
Shit!
Because he's got a
No,
gun.
he does not pull out a gun.
Fuck.
I don't want your money, Mr. Thornwall, if that's what you're offering. And I like look at Alistair and Jules. I know at least one of us has somebody they have to tell, but it's not the press. I wasn't lying earlier, sir. I just want to make sure no one was going to get hurt. So, your ghost, being that it isn't a real spirit, isn't going to hurt anyone. It's just sitting there, and I don't know, maybe we'll give people something to do. Give some people something to talk about. I don't necessarily see any harm in that. I've certainly seen worse things than a fake ghost in my time. I don't see any problem with it.
That is reassuring, and I appreciate
I say
that.
anyone booking a room here knows what they're looking for, and giving it to them, well, it's not exactly Disneyland, but maybe you're in the minor leagues of the same sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't really see the difference between this and I don't know, opening a new roller coaster. It's I don't know. I care about telling the truth, but I also don't see that this is a lie that's really harmful, especially because this is, you talked about fiction. This is the fiction you sell, People buy it or they don't, and the people who are going to come here are going to buy it. I could go to all those people upstairs right now and tell them it's a fake, and I can tell you some of them wouldn't believe me. I could go to a bunch of them right now and tell them it's true, and some of them wouldn't believe me. That's none of my business.
Mason perks up at that and says, "That's certainly what we're hoping."
I guess we got what we came here for.
Curiosity satisfied? Saint?
For my part, yeah, I feel reassured. You have enough information for your, and he, gestures vaguely, your report?
Yeah, the, Port Authority definitely gonna be satisfied with this one.
Jules, you want to get the hell out of here?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, some of us didn't eat dinner.
Fucking ghosts.
Let's go find a 24-hour diner somewhere. I don't know. We'll get you your gun back, and we'll... Mr. Thornwall,
Oh, thank God.
We'll check
Alistair
out, I
very
think.
faintly but noticeably to Saint, and Jules wrinkles his nose at the mention of a 24-hour diner.
Grow up,
Yeah,
Alistair.
let's go to a fucking Denny's.
Let's go to a Denny's.
God.
God, I want to go to Denny's so bad.
Alistair is deeply offended. I, Ezra, want to go to a fucking Denny's.
Let's go to IHOP. Let's get some pancakes.
I had IHOP the other day.
Jealous.
Oh, man.
As a Sherry's man myself,
I would fuck up some Sherry's right now for real.
We used to go, my, late Friday night D&D game that I was in for a while. We played from 8:30 to midnight 30 at the game store, and then we would all pile into cars and go eat go to Sherry's until 3 in the morning.
In a related story, they have the zoo lights at the zoo every year, and they have the brew lights, and so me and a couple of my buddies would go to brew lights every year, and we'd get a little toasty, and then we'd roll out to Sherry's afterwards and get pie, and it was lit. We had the same waiter multiple years in a row. It was so good.
fuck yeah.
Beautiful.
Anyway, yeah. So I think Saint wants to finish with the one-liner of Mr. Thornwall, I think we'll check out now.
Mr. Garcia Flores, I think it's only fair that I comp your room.
Woo! I didn't do that in real life, but that was great of him.
Yeah, no, very much appreciated.
Mr. Thornwall kind of sits down on the edge of the pool and kind of lowers himself like onto the side, kind of head in hands, and just kind of waves you off. Mason Wright looks down and then looks up and over to you. There is leftover shrimp upstairs if you want any. I trust you can find your way off the boat.
I tip my baseball cap to him.
Oh, I forgot you were wearing a baseball
Hell yeah, I am, baby. And I think we roll out. Do we have anything else we want to do on this fucking boat besides eat the all-you-can-eat buffet?
You know,
Maybe go heckle some Instagram stars or whatever?
I think...
yes.
think Alistair is well bred enough that he's like mentally like, I will live without sampling the shrimp.
Yeah, fair enough.
Let's just go to the diner.
You find yourself off of the Queen Mary and back in the parking lot that you had arrived in mere hours earlier. I imagine you are back at the van that Alistair drove in on.
Yeah, while Alistair's kind of putting stuff away, he's just like, Saint, professional curiosity. How often do you run into fabrications?
Good question. I mean, most people don't usually come to me until they're at the very end of their rope, you know? They've gone through all the other options. They've, pulled out a Ouija board. They've had a seance. They've, I don't advertise in the yellow pages or on Instagram. It's not easy to find me. I'm mostly word of mouth. So, there's a lot of fake ghosts out there, but I've kind of curated my pool enough that I don't get very many of them. But at the start, probably like 90%. Ran into a lot of fakes. And not even fakes, just people who were having problems, and they were problems that were not caused by a ghost, but were caused by, I don't know, to be poetic, like the torments of the human soul, or whatever, right? Or a bad marriage, or a creaky house, or tough times. These days, I would say maybe 90% of what I see is real. And real. I don't get a lot of Caspers in my line of work. I don't know. Sometimes I do, actually. I say that, but there have been I don't need to go into a story, I guess. I'm just thinking. But it's nice when I run into a Casper, because sometimes they've got to go anywhere, and people learn to live with all kinds of things. That's usually the happiest ending I can find.
Alistair looks like that is not what he was expecting. Like, that's not how he was expecting that sentence to end.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The idea that Saint would leave a ghost alone if it wasn't hurting people. Like, if there was some sort of, like, peace to be made that didn't involve making the ghost go away.
Mm-hmm.
That definitely, like, you can tell that there's sort of a little bit of a raised eyebrow at that.
What? I mean, sorry, do you kill everything you run into?
Yes.
Okay, I know Jules does, and you know what? Good for you.
Some lines of work are just more dangerous than others, you know?
Yeah, very true.
Well, if you must know, it's more of an observe and report, get to the bottom of it kind of thing. But your run-of-the-mill exorcist is usually there to exercise first and ask questions later. Kind of looks, just subtly looks Saint up and down. And,
he's checking you out.
I know.
Well, run-of-the-mill exorcist.
Yeah, not to have a big ego, but I wouldn't necessarily always say that's me. for the most part, most run-of-the-mill exorcists also don't last very long in this line of work. I'll say that. You know, the best ending isn't always the violent one, and if you don't figure that out quick, you get your ass handed to you. You know, everybody for the most part, I think, just kind of wants to be left alone, and sometimes you can't leave them alone because you leaving them alone means they'll hurt others, and sometimes. I don't know, sometimes that's a house in Northern California that was sitting by itself for a long time, and then it had a family move in, and it was happy, and then that family got a new step-parent, and it wasn't happy, and then I fix it, and then everyone's happy, and the house isn't alone.
Yeah, Alistair has that "I'm mentally writing in my notebook" expression.
Mm-hmm. I'm not telling you where that house is. They've dealt with enough. They have fantastic Christmas parties, and I do go every year.
It's always nice to get Christmas cards.
Mm-hmm.
It is canonically early December in game.
Oh, nice. So this diner you're all planning on inflicting on me, what are the chances it has Wi-Fi?
I don't know, pretty high. I don't know. I can't remember the last time I went to a Sherry's, but... quick question. Sherry's. National chain?
Regional.
No shit, seriously?
I'm near certain that is just Oregon and Washington. Wait,
I'm looking this up now because it's gonna bug me.
No, everyone knows about Denny's.
Yeah, let's go with Denny's. Denny's, I think, usually has Wi-Fi.
Founded in 1978, Sherry's is the largest family-style brand in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, something about Sherry's feels Pacific Northwest.
I think it's the intense wood paneling.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I think Denny's has Wi-Fi. He looks at Jules and then he's like, Jules wouldn't know if a Denny's has Wi-Fi. Jules lives in the forest. I think Denny's has Wi-Fi. I don't know.
That stuff will rot your brain.
It's, you know what? So true. Are we talking Denny's or are we talking Wi-Fi? Because I think both are true.
I mean, yeah, I think both are probably
but
true.
I want Denny's super bad. So anyway, you coming?
Could do with a absolutely.
This podcast brought to you, of course, by the restaurant Denny's.
Yeah, we're not getting that fucking money now. Sorry, Denny's.
We're all like, yeah, Denny's rots your brain.
Love your fries though. Love those fries. Love those milkshakes. Hit me up.
Denny's is where you go to fight someone in a parking lot.
Yeah, Denny's is where I go after the convention when I'm fucking tired. And I'm in my cosplay still. And I want a burger real bad.
God, Denny, yeah, the absolute asshattery that I have hopefully not personally inflicted on the poor employees of the Denny's with my high school theater group. Oh boy.
Braver than any U.S. Marine.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. People who work the late shift at Denny's braver than the U.S. Marines.
Mm-hmm. And so I think Saint's statement of "you come in" is also directed at Alistair.
I have to file my report from somewhere. All
right, cool. I pack up my stuff. We drive out. We get fucking Denny's. It sounds like, and it's lit.
Alistair's obviously traveling separately, so
yeah.
Ben, if he needs to get his next communique
right
away from other people.
Yeah, Jules is in my sidecar, I guess. Did we establish if I have a sidecar or if she's just riding on the back?
I think that Jules is just riding on the back at this point.
I think so too. I don't think I have a sidecar, but the idea of Jules in a sidecar is really funny.
Yeah, it really is. You have like saddlebags, but you have to keep a sidecar.
Tiny lesbian in a tiny sidecar. It's just aesthetically very
Jules and Saint really are the like feral lesbian and her emotional support trans mask. And I love that for them.
True. That's so true.
What you've been listening to was Parasites, a glimpse into a world unknown. It was an actual play horror adventure told to you through the Fate system. Our players were Ezra Kay as eyes-on-the-ground agent Alistair McAnders, Matty Trumbo Gomes as capable young man St. Garcia Flores, and Nikki Boylan as monster in the woods Jules Ortiz. As for myself, I was your game master and disembodied voice, Ben Hamlin. I also produced this show. just for you. Our theme song was by the incorporeal Johnny Ronaldo, and our logo was created by the haunted visage of Tara Bossart. The show is brought to you by Infinity Break, where we're telling stories our own way. You can follow us on social media at InfinityBreak23 and check out our website and all our other tabletop shows, alive and dead, at InfinityBreak.net. We appreciate your listening to this program. If you'd like to help the show succeed, there are a good many ways to do that. You can help spread the word about this show on social media or by simple word of mouth. We have a Patreon at patreon.com/InfinityBreak, where you can start donating to Infinity Break for as little as $1 a month. We appreciate your support and promise a good deal of behind-the-scenes audio. And finally, if you listen through Apple Podcasts, don't forget to leave a review. Reviews help us rise in the podcasting charts and help more people stumble across our show like a body in the woods. That's all for now. Let parascience drift into the back of your mind and let the Queen Mary rock you to sleep across the dark waters on which it rests. We'll be back in 2 weeks.